and welcome to another episode of Wealth Building Wednesday. Wealth Building Wednesday is a program brought to you by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation and its partnership here in Selma. But the partnership exists between the Selma Center for Nonviolence and the Black Belt Community Foundation. I am your host and currently serve as TRHT Selma co-director. My name is Lydia Chapman, and I am super excited. Y'all can't tell, maybe you can, but I am super excited to have our guest today, Mrs. Jackie Smith. She is a local business owner here in the historic city of Selma, Alabama. She owns the Coffee Shoppe, and I am super excited to have her here. Welcome, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you, Lydia, for inviting me into this space.
Absolutely. So we want to definitely talk about all things startup and talk about your journey into being a small business owner. But I first want to allow you some space to just introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, hey, I'm Jackie Smith. For those of you that don't know me, born and raised here in Selma, Alabama. Graduated Selma High School, went off to Troy State University for a year, came back home, married my high school sweetheart, started my career at Selma City Government, where I spent the first 26 years of employment. Um, During that time, I went back to school, got my degree, human resource management. And about that 25th, 26th year, I'm itching now to get into corporate America. So I left city government, I retired and actually went to work in corporate America. That I did from 2000 to the year 2011. And that's when I wanted to come back home, start my own business. And so I've been the owner of the coffee shop since 2011. And in that brief stint, I had a 6-year term as the CFO at Wallace Community College, Selma.
Oh, wow. Now, see, I knew about everything but Wallace. So this is great. Yeah.
Yes,
Learn
yes,
something new every day. So
yes,
now you have a career in numbers.
yes.
What
Numbers,
in the
people,
world? Yes.
numbers and people.
So why did you decide to go into business?
Um, it was 2011. I had lost my mom in March of that year, and was just kind of in a bad place, so to speak. And that commute to Montgomery back and forth every day was just getting a bit much for me. So at that point, I had always dreamed of owning my own business. Growing up right in inner city Selma, surrounded by Black businesses all my life, within a 4-block radius of my house were probably 10 corner grocery stores and a dry cleaners and a cafe. So, always inspired by Black businesses around me, knowing that one day you're going to own your own business. You just don't know what that niche is. But that's how I decided that, hey, it's time for me to just take care of myself and get in my happy space. And my happy place is meeting and serving people.
Now, it's so interesting. You're already, listen, we are like 3 minutes in and you're already dropping nuggets. You saw that opening your own business as a part of your self-care.
Yeah.
We hear that term all over the place now and the importance of self-care. So to consider opening your business as a part of self-care is a phenomenal thing. And in response to the history, you talked about growing up here in Selma and
Yeah.
having, like, within a 4-block radius, grocery stores and dry cleaners and places like that. So prayerfully, with TRHT Selma and so many others, other entrepreneurs like yourself, on the ground, willing to help, willing to give information to people who are interested in becoming small business owners themselves. We will see that type of within a 4-block radius. We'll have our young people experience that as well. So now, when it comes to what kind of business you were going to open, how did you decide on opening the coffee shop?
Well, the first idea, to be honest, was an ice cream shop. And
Okay.
that was kind of, we love our ice cream around here. So it's first going to be an ice cream shop. And then I went to Birmingham and spent the weekend. And just on the way back home, I said, hey, you know what? I think it's going to be a coffee shop that maybe serves ice cream in season. Uh, Grew up with a love for coffee.
Okay.
All the while I was on the road, coffee shops were more or less my second home because one of my corporate careers carried me from Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and Mississippi. So I did a lot of traveling, and I, basically would stop at a coffee shop to kind of just get myself together before my next stop. So, but there again, grew up, my mom had a coffee pot percolating on that stove every morning that we got up in that house. So coffee was a staple. It's a drink that I've always loved. So there again, knowing Selma did not have that to offer people, I
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, let me do my research and see what we can do with this coffee shop. And I mean, it wasn't just an idea. After that vision was dropped in my spirit, then I did all the research, and then I went secret shopping, other small town coffee shops, went to Wetumpka, went to Alabaster, just went everywhere to secret shop these coffee shops to, you know, gauge traffic flow, to see what the menu offerings were. And, after I put everything on paper and just kind of analyze the situation, I say a coffee shop will go and sell.
When I tell you that you are building a yellow brick road, like a golden brick road for small business owners or even folks who may have a bright idea,
Mm-hmm.
um, you've mentioned two things that I do want to spend a little bit of time on. The first thing that you talked about in this moment was research.
Yes,
Why did you feel like it was important to do that research?
because I didn't want to fail.
Okay.
I didn't want to fail, and I needed to know what I needed to know. So I would get up every morning and I would get dressed as if I were going to a job. I put on my blazer, my lipstick, my makeup, and I would get in front of this computer. And I researched and I learned about coffee and I learned about the equipment. And I knew I had to be the best at this. So, and like I said, I wanted to make sure that I didn't fail. So if I knew all I needed to know, then I knew it was going to be a go. So that's very important. Take your big ideas and take your dreams and don't just run with them, but
Yeah.
sit there and kind of nurture them and massage them, research them, learn about it, learn from other people, see what their challenges have been. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I promise you, anything that you can think about doing, someone else has already thought about it. So just try to go and learn, be an open book. I was like a sponge. I just soaked and soaked, and I'd sit at these places, and people didn't know who I were, but I was just taking notes and coming home and checking off the list.
Now that's wisdom, right, y'all? Now, when you hear what she's talking about, the fact that she didn't want to fail, so she made sure that she did her research. Miss Jackie, what about putting it on paper? That's an important aspect as well that I heard you mention. So, why the importance or the emphasis on putting the vision on paper?
Well, it's just because I've always believed in writing it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain. And to this day, I have a journal that at that particular time my granddaughter gave me. It's
Oh,
just a little
wow.
short journal, and I started making those notes. And it's just full of notes. Everything I thought about, I wrote it down so that I could always come back to it, check it off the list. Yes, been there, done that, need to do this. It was just a very careful process. And the process actually started in July, the second week in July of 2011.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like I was ready to open the doors until November 14th. So we're
Wow.
talking about 3 to 4 months of intense
Okay.
research, praying, vision, you know, vision casting, mission casting, developing a team. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Where can I get this from? Where can I get that from? So it takes time.
So, in that, what was your greatest challenge that you feel like you faced as you were fleshing out this idea for the coffee shop?
Well, I had a few challenges naturally. Never being in business, before. So one of the challenges I faced was really not having mentors.
Mm.
When back in 2011, the business owners that, were my mentors growing up where they now by this time they're at the end of their careers. You got Mr. Fred at the flower shop. Mr. Fred had just retired because he had become ill. You had the Costarfins, you had the Blocktons, you had the Calhouns. So I can, the list goes on and on with all of the Black businesses that, influenced me growing up. But by that time, there were not a lot of businesses, sustainable businesses that, really looked like me. So I didn't really have mentors and people that I could go to and ask questions, during those formative years. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I feel like I did was I let the business ran me instead of me running the business. So by that, I mean, like, I felt like I had to do everything because I
Okay.
was the one that had gone out and done all of this research. I had all of this knowledge that, I had to do everything. And like you say, so it seems like from your career, you're a numbers girl. Well, I'm a numbers and a people person, but, coming in early, I could do my own books. I could do this. But
Yes.
even when you get so involved in the day-to-day running the business, then you can't run the back end like forecasting, looking at
Mm-hmm.
trends, studying your numbers. So all of that stuff needs to be taken care of. So, you know, you got to learn to let go. You got to learn to let go and let the experts be the experts. So now, I mean, challenges then, but now it's like some of the challenges I'm facing, staffing, and competing with the corporate giants that can pay so much more,
Mm.
to walk in the door than I can. And
Mm-hmm.
then now another big challenge is dealing with logistics and a broken supply chain. So right
Yeah.
now, you come to the coffee shop, we're really trying to piecemeal cups together. I got one vendor that can supply my 16s and 20-ounce cups, and I have to get the 12-ounce cups from another vendor, and they don't quite match. So it's always going to be challenges. But early on, like I say, it was the lack of, mentors and the fact that I tried to run everything.
So, what would you say to because I've heard the need for mentors across the community as I've talked to small business owners. In fact, we were having a conversation before we went live about those folks who are seeking to become small business owners now, or are small business owners and looking for help, like answers to their questions. What would you say to our fledgling, our newbies to the small business game?
Okay, to the newbies in the game, you have a lot more resources at your hand than I ever had. And if I can be successful, not knowing what I knew or having somebody to reach out to, there are a lot of people that look like you, that want to help you, that want to see you make it. Um, I don't profess to know everything, and you may come to me with a question that I can't answer. And
Right.
if I can't help you, I promise you, I'll refer you to somebody that I know possibly can. So just use us, just come to us. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We're here to help you. It's not about competition, it's
Right.
about all of us being in this together. We want to help you.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you said that as a part of this conversation. The prior conversation that we had before going live, I shared with you about the concern, with folks reaching out even to me about grant writing. Professionally, that's a part of what I do. I work in the healthcare field.
Uh-huh.
However, grants for small businesses, but I want to encourage those who reach out to people who may be out of their lane, so to speak. Because right to me, small business writing grants for small businesses is out of my lane.
Yeah.
But if you at this point, and I had to share with a young lady yesterday, like, you know what? I just really feel like the question consistently coming is a
Uh-huh.
way of God pushing me out of my comfort zone.
Uh-huh.
So give me a minute,
Yes. Yes.
and I'll direct you to whoever I can. I'm willing to share what I know based on grant writing, just the procedure.
Uh-huh.
But it is possible for folks in this community, and I so am excited to hear you encourage
Yeah.
newbies, new business, small business
Yeah.
owners to ask the questions, honey. Look,
Yeah.
look, and if you don't get the answer, ask again.
That's right. And even during, the pandemic and, all the funding that became available through that, I was able to help so many small business owners, direct them to the right place to go to seek funding. So
Yes.
I feel good about that, and I'm happy to see that so many people were able to benefit and have those funding opportunities become available.
Absolutely. So, along with challenges, so when the clouds go away, we see the bright and sunny days. So, what have been your greatest triumphs since you opened the coffee shop?
Okay, well, I think the first triumph was actually making it past year 5. And I say that because the average, year for a small business owner in rural America is 5 years.
Hmm.
So, and those first 5 years were a struggle, you know. So, I didn't really go in expecting, I guess to hit a home run. I just wanted to maintain. But when you get past your 5, you've learned so much, about yourself and about your business and about the community you serve. So I just think, making it past 5 years, that was a big woo.
Yes.
And secondly, in 2019, we won the Gold Retailer of the Year for the state of Alabama. And
Yes, you did.
that was major because that has never happened in Selma.
Yep.
That has never happened in Selma. So to bring home the gold, in a statewide competition, and it was based upon, many different criteria, such as how efficient I had become, how innovative I was, productivity growth, business strategies. So like I say, by then, I felt like I had learned the game and I went for it. And I thank, the Chamber of Commerce for recommending me. But we really, really had grown to that notch that it was just we were in our season. We were in our season, and we've kind of taken off since then. Thank God for that. And I guess when I lay down at night, I guess the biggest triumph is, really knowing that I have set an example and
Mm.
created a legacy, of a successful small business owner, and especially, one of the poorest areas in the state of Alabama. So
Yes.
if you can do it here in Selma, you can do it anywhere. And so,
Listen, I just said
yeah,
that to a friend of mine. I said, people say New York City, but if you can thrive in
in
Selma,
Selma,
Alabama, with
yes,
all of the stuff,
yes, then you
you
got
can do
it.
anywhere.
You nailed it.
Absolutely.
Yes. I
And
just
you
think I was about
actually,
20 years younger. See, if I was about 20 years younger, I have, but now I'm 63 years old. So I'm about to, start bringing it in so I can enjoy the fruits of my labor.
but you're passing it on because your daughter and son are both entrepreneurs, right?
That's right. That's right. We're not going anywhere. I'm just going to back out.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So we've talked about your challenges and your triumphs. If you could do anything over again, say you're starting fresh, October 6th, 2021, what things might you consider doing differently?
Uh, the one thing that sticks out in my mind, if I had to do it all over again, the first person I would hire would be a professional accountant.
Mm,
Record keeping, good financials, good documentation positions you for so many opportunities that you may otherwise not be entitled to. So, again, coming out of the box 2011, hey, I could do it. I can keep my own books. I can do this. I can do that. And, the minute I hired that professional accountant, it took so much pressure off me. It took so much
okay.
pressure off me because I knew that it was being done right. Let the experts do what they do. So surround yourself, bring people on your team that are experts in their field. If you need somebody to do marketing for you, then make sure that you got by your side somebody that's an expert in marketing. But do not try business without having you an accountant or somebody that's seasoned in record keeping and documentation. I promise you, you'll never regret it.
So, all of that being said, I want to go back to when you started the coffee shop and some of the things that you've actually alluded to earlier in our conversation. Why did you choose to? Because see, you've traveled. You shared with us that you traveled across the southeast.
Hmm.
And even though you were born and reared here, why did you choose to open the coffee shop in Selma?
Because Selma is my home. And it's just that love for Selma. I mean, I've had many opportunities to leave and not ever come back.
Right.
But Selma's home, and I love Selma, and I developed that love for Selma. I think, spending 26 years in city government and just meeting 20,000 citizens in my role. I mean, everybody knew me and I knew everybody. So it was just, taking care of the people that in my community that I love. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone anywhere else to try to, sow my seeds or start up a new business, nowhere but home.
Oh, that's so wonderful. The more we pour love into Selma, the more Selma's gonna love us back.
That's right. It poured right back into me.
Absolutely. So now, what do you think our small business community right now needs? What are some of the things that you see small businesses or small business owners? What are some things that we need to do to improve our in our community?
This has been on my heart for quite some time now, and I honestly think that we as small business owners need to create this effective network where we realize we're greater together. We need a space where we're nurturing and supporting each other, exchanging ideas, exchanging creativity, exchanging economic opportunities, and building local leadership. I just think we all need to come together, you know, have a monthly meeting, bi-monthly meeting, so even when it gets down to the calendars where two or three different businesses are not trying to have a big event on the same day. There's just so much more we can do when we put these minds together. And right now, it's like we're operating in silos. I'm doing my things, she's doing her thing, he's doing his thing. But we could be so much greater if we bring all of this greatness to the table and talk about what's working for me,
Yes.
what's not working for me, but you might need to try this where you are. I think it'll work for you. So I just think that we're missing this small business entrepreneurship. And to that table, will also be people with expertise in different areas. Like you say, the grant writing.
Mm-hmm.
There may be somebody in that space that can say, hey, here's this grant, not just tell me here's this grant, but maybe give me some pointers on how to be successful in getting it. Because as I understand with these grants, there are certain keywords that
Yes.
grants look for. So, share those keywords with me for this grant. So there's just so much I feel like we can do if we can have a meeting of the minds and just create this network, and we could be so strong. I already know it. It's just got to happen.
I am super excited about what you just said, and yeah, we'll talk about that
Mhm.
offline. I am encouraged by everything that you are sharing. In fact, want to encourage small business owners to be the place where we start to do things differently. Um, our young people are looking at us
Mhm.
as adults, how we interact with one another, whether it's on social media or in public, and what they are seeing, they are reflecting.
Yeah.
There are some young people that are looking at adults like yourself and saying, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. But when they see some of us, um, I want to say misbehaving, whether
Mhm.
it is on social media or in person,
Mhm.
it almost kind of gives a green light for that. But when what you were just talking about with us collaborating and coming together and the meeting of the minds that can truly occur, because Selma births greatness,
Right.
right? Like if
Right.
people don't
Right. Yes.
like we really birth greatness. So that meeting of the minds that you're talking about could be the very space where we start to do things differently in our community, so that we stop
Right.
butting the egos, right?
Right.
And
Right.
say,
Right.
okay,
Okay.
how
Yeah.
can we move through this together?
That's right. That's right. and agree to some type of decorum,
Yes,
Facebook decorum, social media decorum, where we can kind of put a lid on some of that. It's truly important. It is.
absolutely. So now, what's next on the menu for the coffee shop? I
Next
know you're
on
always doing you're
the
great doing things on the in the community.
menu.
You have some great menu items, so it can be your actual menu or because it's fall, honey, taco soup time.
Yes, taco soup's gonna start back next week. We've had a lot of
Okay,
requests for our soup season, so we're gonna kick
yeah,
it off next week. But
okay,
the main thing that's on the menu for the coffee shop is November 15th.
okay,
Save the date.
okay.
We'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary. 10 years, November 15th. So that's a major milestone. And note, I said our anniversary,
Yes,
not my anniversary, because an organization is only as good as the people that live in it and work in it. So I've been blessed with a good family support system, but outside of that, I've been blessed with even a greater team. So God has blessed me to surround myself with people that has embraced the vision and carried the torch when I was absent. I'm not the face of the shop. Yeah, I own the coffee shop, but if you go in that coffee shop at any given time, it may not be me that you see.
right.
But know that I've got a great team and they've helped me to get here. And we're going to have a grand celebration on November 15th. Lots of door prizes, lots of giveaways, lots of gift cards, those personalized mugs that I've had made, the new t-shirts. So we've
Yes.
got a lot to give back to Selma because Selma has truly embraced me and poured into me. So on this 10-year mark, I'm gonna give away the kitchen sink.
Well, we are super excited to hear that. So, if we are in downtown Selma, because the coffee shop, for those of you all who may be, if you've been under a rock, or if you're listening to us on the radio and live in another space across the Black Belt of Alabama, how can we stop by? Where is the coffee shop located in downtown Selma? And then what are your hours of operation? I want to come through and get smoothies. Like, what are we looking forward to?
Okay, so I'm located 308 Broad Street, downtown historic Selma, Alabama. I'm actually 4 blocks from the Edmund Pettus Bridge. You can
Yes.
stand out front of my shop and actually see the bridge. Our hours of operation, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. We're open on Saturdays from 8 until 2, and we're closed on Sundays. You can come by and get your signature panini sandwich. You get to build your sandwich, ham, turkey, pastrami, or roast beef. We also have chicken salad that is, we call it flying out the window today, Miss Jackie. So I make the chicken salad. It's kind of my little special secret ingredients that I put in it. We also do smoothies, your lattes, your frappes. We have everything for fall, your pumpkin spice, your toffee nuts, your cinnamon spice. So just come by and we're sure that we have something hot, cold that you would love to enjoy. You can build your sandwich, or we have muffins that we make. We have scones. So we just got a little bit of it all. We're very unique. And that's another thing about being a small business owner. You get to create what you want to be.
Yeah.
So we created those panini sandwiches. There were no panini sandwiches in Selma.
Right.
We created these scones. We make these muffins. I make this chicken salad. So, you have your opportunity to be unique and create you and sell you to Selma, promote you, do what you want to do. You don't have any guidelines to go by except what you said. So go get it,
All
small
right.
business owners.
Yes, like she said, go get it. It is out here for you, and you do have a support system. We want to invite everyone. It's almost lunchtime to head on by the coffee shop today and every day, Monday through Friday, and on Saturday from 8 until 2. Did I get that right?
That's correct. Yes,
All right, 308 Broad Street. Look,
right.
she's still working. Look.
You got it. You got it, girl. You
We
got
want to make sure that we support Mrs. Jackie Smith. And thank you so much for being our guest today. We're definitely going to have you back. We have lots of comments from folks who are super supportive of you and everything that you are bringing to our community. So I can't thank you enough for taking your time out. I do just want to encourage everyone listening and watching. Make sure that you share this information. Each one teach one.
That's right.
Absolutely. So small business owners, go get it.
Go
All
get
right.
it. Go
Yes.
get it. I'm here if you need me.
Absolutely. So until next Wednesday, y'all, TRHT Selma brings Wealth Building Wednesday to you live every single Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, live on Facebook, and a rebroadcast of the same show on WBFZ 105.3 FM at 1:30 Central Standard Time. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Thank you so much, Miss Jackie.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here.